high side. Murphy shooting, save a rebound on the view.
Hello everyone, this is Casey and you are watching the Red Rubber Duck Win All Sports Network. This is going to be part 5 of a 9-video series between me, Red5478, and Illogical Canadian as we preview the 2024 college football season. Now we're going over the group of 5 conferences for now. Now before me, Illogical, and Red go over the Power 4 conferences, we're about to go over the Power 5 conference that never was. The American Athletic Conference. Many teams have come and gone like Houston, Cincinnati, UCF, and now SMU, the current American champions. Now, there are like only 4 teams to be afraid of in the American Conference, so this season should be pretty interesting. Army football, welcome to playing in a conference. They played 2 American Conference foes last season in UTSA and Navy, and they beat them both. Their last conference stint, however, was in Conference USA, and it ended in 2004 due to the team not finding their footing. And now, 20 years later, they're predicted to be primed for conference play. Jeff Monken did some experimentation with the offense later in the year and won their last 4 games because of it. Now field general Bryson Daly and the running attack of Kanye Udo and Tyrell Robinson look to fill up score sheets everywhere. The defense will be under construction with only 3 returning starters, but linebacker Caleb Fortner and safety Max DiDomenico look to perform at a high level. They may not win the American in their first go, but there might be a good chance that the Commander-in-Chief's trophy is staying at West Point. Biff Poggi, hopefully last season served as a reminder to not count your chickens before they're hatched. However, a guy like Poggi never gives up. He brought in a whopping 22 transfers, including the new field general Max Brown from Florida and running backs Cartavius Newton from Iowa State and CJ Stokes from Michigan. Returning players, including tight end Colin Weber and wide receiver Jarius Mack, can help the 49ers fill the score sheet and help the former Gator. The defense could only do so much to help the offense last season as they finished in the top half of the American with 213 passing yards a game given up. They have a returning cornerback in Dante Balfour, great last name, sadly in the wrong sport. The defensive line should hold strong with a returning Des Morgan. Now hopefully Poggi has learned his lesson and brings Charlotte to a bowl game. All right, East Carolina, you're coming off of your worst season under Mike Houston, going 2-10. Considering the fact that 3 of your last 5 seasons were losing seasons, you best believe the seats are red hot in Greenville. Last year, the offense couldn't find the end zone, even if they had a map. We're talking one of the bottom 5 of FBS in points a game at 17.3. New hire John David Baker brings in 2 quarterback transfers in Jake Garcia from Missouri and Kattenhauser from Michigan State. Chase Sowell returns, and Florida State transfer Winston Wright form 2 weapons for the newest quarterback controversy. While the offense figures out how to score more than 22 touchdowns, the defense looks to be a little bit better. Deonta Johnson and Chad Stevens return along with cornerback and potential NFL draft pick Siobhan Revelle. Ohio State graduate transfer Jaden McKenzie can also help out. Houston, your ass is on the line. You can manage, right? Tom Herman's rebuild continues in Boca Raton. They did have 4 losses of under 1 score, and 2 of them were part of 4 straight losses to end the year. Whether this go-around goes differently than last year or not depends on the offense. They averaged 23.8 points a game last year, and they are in desperate need of a spark. The field general is the position to watch out for with either junior Tyreek Starks or Marshall transfer Cameron Fancher getting that spot. Tight end Zeke Moore and center Federico Maranges are the only returning starters, so how will their experience help will be determined. The defense was actually solid last season, and they will bring back 6 starters, including linebacker Jackson Ambush, very good name by the way, who led the team with 89 tackles. Main transfer Kazir Brown can help in the secondary. Will we see the Owls of old, or will it be another brick in the wall? Please don't sue me, Pink Floyd. The people of Memphis are going to have a Yinzer mindset this season. Anything less than a trophy will be a disaster of a season. Ryan Silverfield is coming off of his best season in Memphis at 10-3. Quarterback Seth Hennigan is returning for his senior year, and 3 of his favorite targets are back in the form of Rock Taylor with 69 catches last season. Nice. Demir Blankupsey with 53 catches, and tight end Anthony Lanphier with 29 of his own. Sutton Smith and South Carolina transfer Mario Anderson will be a 1-2 punch at running back. However, any team is as good as its weakest link, and that is the defense by a slight margin. That means Jordan Hankins is going to have his hands full repairing a pass efficiency defense that finished 9th in the American last year. 4 starters returned, including linebacker Chandler Martin. 2 safety transfers in Cortland Marsh from Samford and Taj Rael from Old Dominion look to fix the secondary. Expectations couldn't be higher. How do you respond? Okay, midshipmen, you were a couple of plays away from making a bowl game last year. Not bad for Brian Newberry's first tour of duty. However, the fans at the Naval Academy want more. Last year, the offense couldn't be found on radar as they finished 3rd to last in the AAC in scoring. As a result, Drew Connick from Mercer will oversee the offense. They seek more consistent play from either Braxton Woodson or Blake Horvath as commander. A deadly running back duo will return in Alex Texa and Eli Heidenreich. The defense will have 7 starters coming back, including linebacker Colin Ramos, safety Rylan Lane III, and defensive end Luke Pyrus. While they finished 3rd to last in the AAC in pass efficiency defense last season, they only allowed 22.4 points a game. Navy, the choice is yours. Sink or swim. Last season was the Homer Simpson meme for North Texas, with back-to-back wins against Tulsa and UAB to end the year up front, and a stretch where they lost 5 of 6 in the back. Now Eric Morris will look for some consistency throughout this roster. The offense actually was one of the best in all of FBS, and first in the American in yards a game at 495.8. I'm not making that number up. You did lose Chandler Rogers to the portal, but TCU Chandler Morris looks to keep adding yards. He will have 2 good choices at running back with Ikeka Ragsdale, coming back from an injury, and Zach Evans. Now, how did the Mean Green go 5-7 last season? Because that's an offense that goes 12-0. Like I said before, you're only as good as your weakest link. And the defense couldn't stop a pylon, even if it was bolted to the ground. 5 starters make their return with cornerback Rich Texada and lineman Roderick Brown. The staff better hope that the additions they got from the portal pay off. This team can make noise this season if they so choose. If not, heads are going to roll. If baby steps were a team, this is it. In his 6th season as head coach, Mike Blumgren reached his highest win total yet with 6, and now the Owls are hungry for more. Former Temple QB E.J. Warner came to Rice last December and led the American in passing last season while he was a Temple Owl. He won't have Luke McCaffrey since he's now in the NFL, but he will have tight end Bowden Groen and receivers Landon Ransom Goals and Ralston McNeil. He can also hand the ball off to a returning Dean Connors, who averaged 91.5 yards a game last season, and now the defense is also in good shape, with the top returning pass defense in the American, since SMU is going over to the ACC for some reason. There are 9 returning starters, including safety Gabriel Taylor and linebackers Myron Morrison and Josh Percy. They even brought in Dartmouth transfer Charlie Lewis, who finished as finalist for the Ivy League Defensive Player of the Year last season. If these pieces fit the jigsaw, you could be looking at the American's dark horse. In 1 year flat, USF went from the basement of college football to a team eating cereal from bowls. There are a bunch of eyes on this team after that ass whooping to Syracuse in Boca Raton. I want to know Alex Golish's secret to how his 1 year rebuild can work. Byron Brown returns as field general after averaging over 300 yards a game, and he is one of 9 returning starters on offense. 2 of them are receiver Sean Atkins, who recorded 92 catches last season, and running back Naquan Wright, who ran for nearly 800 yards last season. However, the common theme throughout the conference is the defense being the weakest link. The defense gave up nearly 40 points a game last season, and they have to improve if the Bulls want to take home some hardware. The team leader in tackles, Jalen Schuler, will return, as well as cornerback Amaris Brown. Also in the secondary is Youngstown State transfer DeMarco Augustin, and he is expected to make an impact. If the Bulls can fire on both sides, they might catch the eyes of a certain committee. Stan Drayton, if your ass didn't have 4th degree burns on it before, it certainly does now. They have won only 1 conference game in each of the last 2 seasons, and honestly, I don't see it getting any better for Temple. Your quarterback, E.J. Warner, is gone, and now you have to choose between Forrest Brock or Rutgers transfer Evan Simon. Whoever wins the job will have Dante Wright and Zay Baines as options at receiver. Jaquez Smith and E.J. Wilson do have promise at running back, but 2/5 of the offensive line are returnees. It doesn't get much better for the defense, which will only see 3 starters return. DeJuan Black is a breakout candidate at linebacker, and Western Carolina transfer Andreas Keaton should help the secondary a little bit. However, the Owls have a long way to go if they want to go somewhere. Remember when Troy won back-to-back Sun Belt titles? The Green Wave now have the architect behind that squad in John Sumrall. It's a good thing that Tulane was able to grab him because they are going through a lot of transitions. Michael Pratt is gone, so the starting field general job will go to either Oregon transfer Ty Thompson or Kai Horton. A big name will return in the running back position, however, in Mekhi Hughes. Mario Williams from USC and Shaz Preston from LSU will join Yulkeith Brown on the receiver list. Rashad Green will be the anchor of one of the top offensive lines in the American. Troy's defense finished first in the Sun Belt and fewest points allowed a game, so the defense should be just as strong here in Tulane. The defensive front will have several anchors, including lineman Patrick Jenkins and Louisiana Monroe transfer Aiden Huntington, and linebackers Tyler Grubbs and Jesus Machado. There is also a true freshman by the name of Jaden Lewis that is turning heads at cornerback. If all goes well, the people of New Orleans won't be waiting long for success. While Kevin Wilson didn't have the best of starts in his first year, going 4-8, half of those losses were by less than 1 score. But it also didn't help that the Golden Hurricane committed 3+ turnovers in 4 games. Speaking of turnover bakeries, Tulsa's progress will be measured on how the offense can perform. Quarterback Kirk Francis showed promise in the final 4 games, and he could try to ride that momentum going into this season. Running back Anthony Watkins ran for nearly 900 yards, and wide receiver Camden Benjamin caught 47 passes as these 2 headlined the offensive talent. Hopefully you found 4/5 of an offensive line with only 1 returning starter. The defense poses an even bigger challenge. If you remember me talking about North Texas defense earlier, this was only a slither better than them. That's how bad it was. 444.7 yards given up per game, 33.8 points given up per game, and 6.6 yards a play given up. Yeah, things need to change. Only 3 starters returned, but Wilson added a couple transfers in Miles Jackson and Gavin Potter. Tulsa better hope the Golden Hurricane doesn't turn into a Golden Tropical Depression again. For his first year in a collegiate head coaching gig, Blazers fans should be happy that Trent Dilfer went 4-8. 3 of those wins were in conference play, including an upset against South Florida. Despite UAB being known for rushing, Dilfer's quarterback expertise paid off when Jacob Zeno turned into one of the Americans' top signal callers. To kill the pain of losing Tawan Palmer at receiver, Amir Thomas returns for his sophomore season. After losing Jermaine Brown Jr. at running back, they replaced him with Lee Beebe, Isaiah Jacobs, and LSU transfer Armani Goodwin. 3 starters on the line look to give up less than the 32 sacks from last year. 37 points given up per game and 6.2 yards given up a game are the alarm bells that you need to fix the defense. There's only 4 returning starters, but these were effective weapons. Cornerback Colby Dempsey, linebacker Michael Moore, and lineman Kevin Penn and Desmond Little can help new transfers and freshmen improve the defense. Dilfer and company can feel the ground, and now let's see if they can improve all aspects. Jeff Traylor has been finding success in San Antonio, whether it was in Conference USA or the American. These Roadrunners may not show any signs of stopping, especially with a schedule including a traveling Memphis and no Tulane or South Florida in sight. Frank Harris has lost eligibility, so either Colorado transfer Owen McCown or Eddie Lee Marburger will fill in his shoes at quarterback. Whoever emerges as the victor will have a variety of options to use in running back Kavorian Barnes, tight end Oscar Cardenas, and wide receivers Devin McQuinn and DeCorian Clark. As for the defense, there's good news and bad news. Bad news is they lost plenty of cogs in the machine in edge rusher Trey Moore and secondary personnel Cam Alexander, Rashad Wisdom, and Nick Troy Fortune. The good news is they should still be dangerous with 6 starters returning. 4 of them include lineman Brandon Brown and Joe Evans, linebacker Jamal Legion, and safety Danye Taylor. The theme this year is next man up, and Jeff Traylor needs to find the right men if they want to reach the promised land. Hold on one second, let me check the door real quick. Hello? Anyone here? Okay. All right. Nobody here. So, let's get right into the... Hold on a minute. UConn? What the hell are you doing out here? You haven't even been in the American for God knows how long.
Yeah, but Red said the reason you should include me in the video is because I was a member of the American.
How the hell does that get you on the list? Like, can I go through one video without being interrupted? Guess not. The Huskies haven't even been in the American for 5 years, yet they're still on the list? Oh well. They did go 3-9 last year, but everyone you knew and loved was getting injured. The quarterback, Taquan Roberson, is gone, but the quarterback job will be in good hands with the victor of Maine transfer Joe Fagnano versus Wisconsin transfer Nick Evers. Ready to watch the replacements again? Because there's plenty in UConn. Michigan signee Jack Stewart will replace guard Christian Haynes, and tight end Justin Jolie is going to NC State, so former Wisconsin wide receiver Skylar Bell looks to fill the void. New defensive coordinator Matt Brock looks to have some success like at Mississippi State. Lineman Bryce Yates and Jelani Stafford will have to learn his new defensive schemes quickly. After talking about the next man up in the last segment, UConn needs to find one to replace linebacker Jackson Mitchell. UConn, you better hope you can find your way back into a conference soon because this is going to be a pretty long road. Now let's get into predictions before anyone else shows up. The 4 teams I mentioned at the start will have tough games. Memphis has to play South Florida, UTSA, and Tulane all on the road. South Florida will travel to New Orleans as well to play the Green Wave. All UTSA has to do is stay consistent throughout their schedule. At the end of the day, I'm going with UTSA and Tulane with the Green Wave winning their second conference title in 3 seasons. But the American is completely wide open for those 4 teams. But you never know, a 5th squad can jump in. Now let's see who's for real and who is just plain snake oil. I want to thank you guys for watching this video. We are at the halfway point of the 9 video series previewing the college football season. As I said before, this is a collaboration with Red5478 and Illogical Canadian, 2 good friends of mine. And this is the 5th video of the series. Red's videos on the Sun Belt and the Mountain West Conference plus the Pac-12, or whatever is left of the Pac-12, is already out. And on Tuesday, Illogical Canadian will have his ACC video out, plus Notre Dame. It's also included in there. And you can go ahead and check out his Conference USA video. Now, rounding out the series, I will have the Big 12 video out on Thursday. And Illogical Canadian will go over the SEC on Friday. And Red will finish us off with the Big 10 on Saturday. So that should be a really, really good end to the series. I hope you guys enjoyed the videos. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed the American preview. I will see you guys on Thursday when we go over the Big 12. But until then, I'm Casey. You've been watching the Red Rubber Duckman All Sports Network. Until we meet again, I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.